Games, Brrraaains A Head-Banging Life, here with the Nasties, episode number 3. We're covering the first of the cannibal movies, The Mountain of the Cannibal God. You can see it right here. Got a Blu-ray here, one of Shameless's releases, basically. They picked up a lot of these, kind of redid them, messed around with them, and re-released them. Quite pretty looking. It comes in yellow with a sleeve. One sleeve. The sleeve outside has Ursula Andress, the star, with her boobs out. For some reason, because you'd think it'd be the other way around. Like the sleeve would be the one that covers it up.
Yeah, because that's outside.
And then the insert is the one like, oh, here's the cheek. Because the insert, the actual box, has a spear covering her nipple in that scene. Where here, the spear is up and showing it. So you'd think you'd have it the other way around.
It's a bit weird, yeah.
But it's a cool looking Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So, of course, The Mountain of the Cannibal God. 1978, directed by Sergio Martino, starring Ursula Andress, Stacey Keach, Claudio Castanelli, Antonia Maracinia. Not a big cast.
No.
And an actual set of actors and characters that you do kind of remember to a point. So, this was one of the non-prosecuted ones. This is a video nasty. It's one of the list, one of the 72, but it's one that wasn't prosecuted, although it is still cut in a lot of locations, including the UK. It was actually finally released in 2001 with 2 minutes and 6 seconds cut. Almost all of that, no, not even all of it, all of that relates to animal violence.
Yeah.
Yes, people, this is one of them that has the animal violence. The stuff that was cut basically amounts now on the Shameless edition as well, mainly surrounds the python. If you're not talking about the python and the monkey, it's that particular scene. They're the stuff that was cut.
You say you told me about it. I didn't miss not seeing that. I didn't add anything. Well, I wouldn't because I wouldn't want to see that. Yeah. But the idea of that wouldn't add anything. It's a film about cannibals. It wasn't like it was two sets of cannibals making these animals fight. No. Nothing to do with any cannibalism at all. So, good. These movies,
the others are the same. Probably the one that maybe not as bad as Cannibal Apocalypse. Nope, there's a rat that gets burned with a flamethrower in that, which is what's cut in that. No, most of these cannibal movies loved its gratuitous jungle shots and showing you the brutality of the jungle and why it's so dangerous. And this has plenty of that, including something that previously was cut is available in this, which we'll get to when we describe the plot. But I've seen, for some reason, when I reviewed this for the site, which I did last year, I saw it with that scene in it. So I don't know what version I watched. It certainly wasn't a UK version then. But yeah, on this you get the unique board game inside, which is basically Cannibal Snakes and Ladders. 2K restored and regraded version. It includes occasional re-included scenes. 4 to 5 second long stuff. You see the drop in quality.
Extra long shots,
yeah, often just extra long shots. There's one in the very end credits. Nothing you're missing, basically. And making off with the director Sergio Martino. A Sergio Martino on animal cruelty, little bit of documentary. You get an introduction from him as well. Yeah. Theatrical trailer, alternative Italian credits. Right. First off, did you like it?
I did and I didn't.
Okay.
Like it had more plot than it had more plot than I thought it would. So I expected a lot of these films just to be trash and tits.
Yes.
Pretty much. And I was like, okay, so there's a genuine reason for them to be there.
Yep.
There's a reason why they're all going in certain places, why people get picked off, like certain people get picked off. And there's a reason why everything happens. And I was like, okay. And then the animal cruelty obviously just really takes it back because you still see bits of it.
Yep.
It wasn't completely excavated from it. And just certain things took too long to get to. So the actual animal cannibal part was very small compared to what I thought it'd be a lot more visceral all the way through.
Okay.
So, I mean, overall I'd say about 6. Because I did feel like it did feel very jungly, if that makes sense. And the natives were very native. Obviously, very cliche of how they are portrayed, but in a cannibal film that worked.
Yep.
Like there was no kind of over talking, and there was no talking. There was no kind of language.
Yeah, there's no communication. The communication grunts and noises and stuff.
Yeah, which is kind of like takes you away from it. And but Ursula Andress, I think was god awful, and she really detracted from the film for me.
Right.
So,
well, let's talk about the film then. So, as we said already, stars, very small cast. Ursula Andress is the star. She's in the front cover. She's the selling point of this. A very attractive woman. If it's your jam, you'll be glad to know you get to see many gratuitous shots of her naked. Edward Foster is played by Stacey Keach, a fairly substantial actor in his own right.
Yep, I saw his face and it took me a while to work out what it was.
He's annoying me,
And I finally found out.
We get Antonio Morosini, who plays Arthur Weiser. He's pretty good in it. Plays a bit more of a sleazeball in it. He's Ursula Andress' brother. Then we get Claudio Castanelli, who's the best thing in this movie.
Yeah,
comes in about halfway, plays Manolo. And other than the extraneous natives and guides and stuff, probably the next character who gets the most speaking roles is a guy called Father Moses that pops up in the middle of the film, played by Franco Fantasia. So basically, Susan Stevenson, Ursula Andress, Susan, and her brother Arthur, the movie opens with them basically wanting to get an expedition out to a jungle in the Amazon to find her missing husband. Yeah. He was gone. He's a scientist who went out there and has gone missing. The government in the British consulate where they are, they sort of say, look, we've tried looking around for him. The jungle's deep.
It's his fault for going
basically,
out there.
yeah. If he was unprepared and all that, it's on him. We've looked, couldn't find him. We're not sending people in there.
Yeah.
They do give him the suggestion to then go check out a guy called Edward, but it turns out Susan's already kind of been in contact with him. That's Edward is Stacey Keach. So they end up meeting up with Edward, who he wants to go. Basically, he knew her husband. Her husband. He has a previous relationship with Arthur that's kind of left unsaid as well, and he agrees to help her. Go look for a husband, but he has his own reasons. You notice early on, he has his own reasons for wanting to go there.
Yeah, it's a little layer to it. Yeah.
He talks about having been there before and stuff like that. Later on, you get a lot more detail about that. So then, basically, a large portion of this movie is them making their way through this jungle. Yeah. So basically, they want to get to an island which houses the mountain on it. It's a dangerous place that suggests it's got a curse on it. You've got a mountain, a massive ring of very, very thick jungle, and then the beach. Yeah. So they go to, basically the first trek with their guides and natives, friends of Edward, is to first get to the beach, then get a boat across to the island. Yeah. And that along that way, you get a lot of character development, a lot of interaction, a lot of suggested stuff, and just general behaviours, and jungle stuff. Yeah. Jungle. Massive. And lots of animal shots and stuff like this. This is where you do get the cuts from like the snake and the monkey. So basically this cut scene, if you want to know what it is, it's a python killing a monkey. And it's squeezing the life out of it and stuff like that.
But not a set up random like Richard Attenborough would watch it.
No, there's a lot of suggestions. There's been a lot of suggestions over what actually occurred here, including people suggesting the monkey was pushed into the python and stuff like that. Whether or not that's true, you'd have to watch things like what the director says, and he might not necessarily be honest about it anyway.
Still not needed. Still not needed though.
No, absolutely.
I just don't,
Absolutely not, but we do still get something here that's still quite horrible for animal lovers or anyone who doesn't really want to see this unnecessary. So, Susan falls in the jungle. We should say Susan, Ursula Andress' character, is fucking useless in this film. She is that cliche, scream, fall, stand out and watch while danger's happening around her. She's not. And Ursula Andress, she's struggling a lot here. She's struggling a lot with the dialogue. I'd imagine she was struggling a lot with the shooting location. She doesn't look like she's having a good time. No. And she's given too much to say. And she's obviously fighting off an accent, which makes a lot of the dialogue appear clunky in her mouth. Yeah. And she certainly doesn't come across convincing. The most convincing part she does is near the end, where she reveals her true colours. Yeah,
which is a bit evil.
Villainous.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
I think Ursula Andress as well. It's funny that Deepest Darkest Jungle can't get there. Can't get there easy enough. But it seems like she had a hair and makeup team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Her makeup's like insanely
it was infallible all the way. Yeah.
And the makeup, she turns up in like just a random part of the jungle, and her hair's all like coiffured, proper curled. Like, just like normal, like natural curl, proper style. I'm like.
You think you might tie it up and put it under a hat?
Yeah, or kept it just like back combed it a bit. But yeah, I was a bit like, wow.
They wanted to sell this movie on the sex appeal of Ursula Andress. Yeah. Right, so she falls over, gets caught up in some trees as a tarantula slowly makes its way towards her.
Yeah, it's not really running, is it?
No, it's not. If you hate spiders, it's horrible nonetheless. So Arthur, being a hero as he is to save his sister, runs over and stabs the spider. This is a real spider being killed. Yeah. Unnecessary.
Point one, first one of why.
Unnecessary. This upsets the locals, the natives they're with, the guides, who basically end up capturing a monitor lizard, and it's a real one because you see it kicking and everything, and gut it. brutally gut it and basically eat its innards. This is because they believe what Arthur did was a bad omen, and this will cure the spirits. I don't know. It's not nice. It's not nice, and it's one of the many sort of things. I mean, it's not nice in the sense that it's a real animal being killed for a film. That's bullshit. Yeah. It always will be bullshit.
If you can make a fake head or fake wounds and stuff or guts out of animal offal, you could make a pretend animal monster lizard out of clay.
Of course you could, but then it wouldn't have been shocking, which is what these movies wish to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's not get stuck in it.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's not nice. It's one of the things that would cut. But you can see it on this version. So basically, eventually they get across the water to the new island, and this island is very dangerous. And straight away they're being watched by what's this tribe? They paint the bodies white and wear masks. They're constantly being watched by them, and as they work their way inwards towards the mountain, the guides, the natives, the people they're with, slowly get picked off. There's a bit with a raft, or one gets his arm bitten off by an alligator and killed that way. Another one gets caught in like a Venus flytrap, but it's like
carved stones that are sharp.
Yeah,
kind of like
so he gets pulled up into it, and the thing's closing him and kill him that way. One panics, runs through the jungle, and gets beheaded that way. And it's that part basically there which has them all kind of briefly split up, with Edward and Arthur chasing down this running, panicking guide, leaving Susan on her own, who then gets attacked by one of these white-bodied natives. She runs away. There's native chasers. They run back to try and save her, and she's then rescued by Manolo, Claudio Casanelli, the best thing in this movie, the best actor. The most likeable, the most reasonable most of the time. And he saves her and then brings the three survivors, so Susan, Edward and Arthur, back to a missionary that exists on this island, run by Father Moses. Basically, he looks after children, young, he's basically got his own little tribe, but they're not savages, they're educated to a degree.
Yeah.
And obviously, like all missionaries in that sort of situation, he's educating them, teaching them rights and wrongs. And I guess, although it's not mentioned, I presume spreading the word of Christianity and stuff like that. Although it's not actually mentioned.
No, but a lot of the missionaries, that's what their idea was, wasn't it?
That was the point.
Godless societies, we're going to go and educate them because that's what they need.
That's it.
And you can argue they might be doing all right about.
Oh, of course. But let's not get into that. Here we get a lot of backstory. So we find out basically that Edward, there's a tribe that's said to have been destroyed that lived in a mountain, a cannibal tribe. Unfortunately, I can't quite remember what the title was. The Puka people. He was captured by them, forced to eat human flesh, and eventually managed to escape when they were attacked by another tribe. They are since thought to be dead and destroyed. But he suspects that the white-bodied people he's been seeing is them. His reason for going back now is that he wants to destroy them once and for all, because he can't get over the horror of having had to eat human flesh to survive. Yeah. Very, very relatable. As night falls in this missionary, there's a big party. Arthur gets, I was about to say gets his end away, but he never gets that close to it. A native girl comes in and decides she wants to sleep with him, takes her top off, he gets some boobs there for jam, and he's quick to say yeah to that. And Susan and Manolo hook up. Although you don't see anything beyond a kiss, it seems like her husband's the last thing in her mind there. Well, that would actually be a preemptive moment for what would come later on. Yeah. Basically, they then get attacked. Arthur gets attacked by one of the white-bodied natives, who throws a spear, opens the door, throws a spear, but accidentally ends up killing the native girl. Yeah. And then runs off. Edward chases him down, but gets attacked and gets his leg cut before killing this guy dead. He shoots him and discovers it was one of his own guides. Yeah. When he then reveals that person also escaped from the Pukas with him, and obviously had been taken back when they were in the jungle originally. So he's now hurt, and I presumed, as you would, that's him out of the movie. He can't go on, right? His wound's got a pretty bad wound. Yeah, but no. Susan convinces Manolo to take him into the jungle, come with them to the journey to the mountain of the Cannibal God, even though he's initially against it. But hey, the power of Earthlandris, I guess. Yeah. Father Moses is fuming with what they did to his missionary. What did he say? He says, you brought death.
curse or
fornication, stuff like that. Yeah, but he's basically not very happy with what these idiots did.
Yeah.
So they leave and basically make their way deeper into the jungle. Unsurprisingly, can you believe this? Edward's wound gets infected.
Shocking.
Now, it's weird, right? This is really, really weird. It seems like this is going to be a massive plot point, but it isn't really. Other than, you think it's going to get worse, because he's kind of... Where he dies, because he dies a little further on, he could have died without the wound, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but he was weaker. They had to weaken him to make it more...
I suppose when you put it that way. So basically, they end up at a waterfall, and they have to go up the waterfall. So it's a tough climb, but when you've got a bum leg, it's even harder.
Yeah.
And it comes together when they reach the top, and Arthur won't help Edward up the last part. Yeah. So Edward ends up slipping and falling to his death. That's Edward gone, unfortunately. By Stacey Keach, you will find in this movie.
Yeah. A little bit hammy, a little bit over the top on certain bits.
Yeah.
But he did alright with it.
He chewed the scenery.
Yeah.
So now we're left with Susan, Arthur, and Manello. And like I said, at this point, Arthur's getting more and more sleazy. You kind of think maybe he's getting a bit like stir crazy, maybe the jungle and stuff like that. And it basically all comes to a head when they finally reach what I guess is almost the entryway to the Puka's location. Yeah. There are signs and stuff like that. He waits behind while Susan and Manello go and investigate and find like a crypt, I guess, almost, or like a feeding ground of skulls and bones and stuff like that. When they come back, they find Arthur running off, basically. Although for some reason he leaves his gun. He runs off. They chase him. And it's really weird here. Somehow Susan and Manello get separated. Because suddenly they're at a cave. And Arthur's using a Geiger counter, which he had with him. A bit of a bad cut there. Yeah, like he's in there and he's basically revealing that the mountain is rich with uranium. And that's why he's there. To harvest and take advantage of this. Susan then is there with him and reveals that she's in on this plan. And then for some reason Manello sneaks in behind them as if like he wasn't with her originally. Overhears their thing and reveals that he's overheard them. She reveals that she has a husband. She didn't really care. Like she just knew that was the only way she was going to get Edward to come with them, and that she and Arthur want to be rich from the uranium. Manello's obviously not very happy about this at all. And it's a great plot development. It really is. It's a clever little thing. It's like, this makes a lot more sense. And it's probably, as I say, Ursula Andress' best moment, which gets to be a bit like, this is like villainous.
Personality, almost. So I enjoyed that bit. I was like, okay.
Anyway, it comes to nothing as before they leave the cave, Arthur gets a spear in his stomach. And he's dead. And they get captured by the Pukas. Pukas are the guys in the white, and Susan and Manello get taken to basically their cave home.
Like Temple of Doom, you get taken to the main bit.
Just with a lot less fire. This is the entire ending, and I will warn you, it's long. You might be thinking, we've got to this point now, 5-10 minutes, right? 20 minutes plus.
Not very fast paced, that last chunk, is it really?
No, we do get a couple of quick reveals at the start, where it's kind of like basically the tribe's leader, elderly man, shows her a photo which has her and her husband, and they all cheer and scream. So it's clear they're kind of like seeing her as something else. They then show her husband, who is decomposing, melting, and they put his Geiger counter in his chest like a heartbeat, and it looks cool because the needles so basically they made him as God. Manello understands what they're saying and says like they think he's a god. And you are the god's woman. So basically, she's kind of treated like one as well. She's stripped, so you get some more nudity there if you wish.
Covered in like clay,
to
clay
kind
stuff.
Of cover her body, and then given a headdress and an outfit, and then tied up on a stake next to where her husband is. Then we get a lot of native stuff. So first we get the eating, the gutting and eating of Arthur's body.
I don't think you go around that many. He didn't wait there get much.
There's a good 30 plus tribesmen here.
And he wasn't much of him.
And it's weird because the cutting open of Arthur's body looks terrible. It really does. But the pulling of the guts and stuff looks great.
It's
really graphic.
Drawn out. It's not easy to pull out, which I'm guessing it would be when you're real human. Like, there's bits that are going to get stuck. And I was like,
it was well done. And they feast upon that. after having feasted upon that, and you get a lot of, like I said, you get a lot of different shots between Susan and Manello here and stuff like that. But after that, you probably get the most shocking parts of the movie, depending upon your perspective.
Yeah.
You get the after meal orgy. That's basically what we get. So music suddenly plays up, and the very first thing is two natives having sex in a very awkward position.
Yeah.
Then you get one of the more famous cuts from it, which is a graphic female masturbation scene.
Yeah.
And it is graphic, you know, and it cuts back to it several times. And you're kind of like, okay, you know, I'm not going to go into detail here. Just take our word for it. Yeah. It's pretty graphic. And then you also get the tribesmen having sex with a giant pig, which is, having sex with a pig. Yeah. The pig, I mean, I presume he wasn't actually having sex with the pig, because the pig is an actual pig.
You can see the actual guy just sort of like flapping.
Just flapping. He's flapping himself behind this pig that could not give a fuck. It just wants to eat.
Yeah.
And then after that, basically they sleep, then they wake up. There's a couple of attempts to escape. Susan's almost raped by one of the tribesmen, who then gets in another, probably the most cringy for anyone out there, particularly if you're a man. Yeah. He gets captured by his own people, who then cut his penis off. Yep. And you see it.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
You do see it. You see the wound afterwards, and he's then killed. They try to encourage her to gut his body, but she uses it to stab the leader of the tribe and kill him. And you would think that means we're leading towards the end. No, but it doesn't.
No, because she's so stupid, she runs right into him again.
Yeah, she tries to run away rather than fight him off, or what we were saying, play up to the God thing. I am your God now, kind of thing. Stand over them, worship me. You know. Instead, she gets tied back up. All this time, Manella's just like sitting there. He gets headbutted in the stomach, which made me laugh. There is another unfortunate animal scene where basically the tribe have their way with a lot of lizards and snakes, and unfortunately a couple of these snakes are alive and ripped apart. It's actually pretty horrible looking. And it's interesting, they tried to feed Manello one of these lizards, and clearly the actor did not want to do anything, because it's in its hand when it gets to that scene. It's fake. It's so fake. Yeah. Like, clearly he was like, I am not fucking eating a real lizard or any bits like that. The others can go nuts. I'm not. So clearly we could do it. But then it looked obviously fake. So there is that. Anyway, after the failed escape attempt, we're right near the end now. Manello gets put in a kind of like a pit. Yeah. Well, one of the natives decides to come in and tease him almost with a spear, kind of just jabbing him with it. Manello manages to kick this native backwards, who smashes his head in the rock, and his brains fall out.
You see that in quite graphic,
It's pretty graphic. The camera goes zoom, you know, that again, that Italian exploitation style, and it's pretty graphic as well. We're laughing during it, that like if it was in the BBFC's office when it happened, they were just like, why? Why do you have to zoom? So Manello manages to escape, and he rescues Susan, and they sneak their way out, fight a few natives, leading to eventually the river. I will praise this segment, as it is a little bit tense. The movie's near silent, except for the sound of their footsteps. And it really, really heightens it, where you're thinking any small noise will wake up the natives. And
really good. Yeah. Yeah, and I say, like, some of the music's quite cheesy. Some of it's quite well done. So it's got quite intense sort of, like you're in a jungle and it's quite synthy, quite...
Yes, and you get a lot of those jungle drum stuff.
Yeah, which is all cool. But then, so to have completely silent works really well.
It did. I think it ramped it up. And they get to the river, and, you know, they're being chased down by these people. Well, you know, obviously, they're not going to just let them go. And they actually come up with a clever little idea, which is see a tree trunk and realise they can use the tree trunk to float down the current, which is quite a powerful river. Before they can do that, though, a couple of natives pop up and attack Manello. Susan stands there like a gormless knob, doesn't even bother trying to move the trunk. You know, you get a little bit of a fake out where the second native and Manello go under the water, and it's the native that comes out but not Manello, and you think, but then the blood starts pumping from his neck, and there we go. They move the log out, get on it, float down the river, and the end credits roll. And that is it. That is the Mountain of the Cannibal God's plot. It's good. I will say it's good. I think it's a really well put together movie, in the sense that you have a clear beginning, middle, and end. There are very few deviations off the plot.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
Everything goes to it. So, like, the reason they kind of moved on from the missionaries, because obviously there's people dying since they've turned up. No, on you go.
Yeah.
In the injury, they want to see the uranium. it just leads them deeper and deeper into it.
It is, and one of the things that really praises, it's very easy to plot this movie step by step by step. Thanks to words and the positions and the things they see, you can actually picture in your head, okay, here's the beach, here's the jungle, here's the rapids, there's the mountain. Yeah. Step by step by step. And even at the end, it's like they never reach the mountain, so to speak, in the sense they never get to the top of it. But what they reach is the mountain's base, effectively, where the tribe are, living within the mountains. Yeah. So it works that way.
I think it just had more excitement during it. The plot was good. I just feel like you got to the cannibal part, and even that was a little bit lackluster.
Oh yeah, if you're watching this for exciting stuff, you're not going to. You're going to get some wonderful... It's a well-shot movie. It's a well-told story. It's got a quality cast overall. The small cast, to be honest, there's no one really. Ursula Andrews has her problems, but she's one of a cast of good actors. Yeah. So it really, really works. Even the tribes people, the natives and stuff like that, their roles, I think they do it well too. They come across... savage in some sense, others not so much. So there's no complaints in that front. But it's not an interesting movie. No. It's not going to you're not going to be by the end of it going, man, that was pumping.
Yeah, it's just I feel like with these video nasties, I'm watching them. There's part of me going, so because I've done it before, I'm going, oh, why did I get banned? And you go, no, look at it from a back then point of view. So now I'm looking for the parts where I think like, oh, that's where you got banned for. This is what people wouldn't have liked back then. So I've kind of got a different... Because I know these guys, we are watching video nasties, and this is why they're video nasties. I'm watching it for them elements of it. But yeah, like I enjoyed Evil Speak for more of the fun we watched before, and for Fagus. More for... Just a bit more exciting, really. So I said, the plot points were good because it cemented the film, and there's reasons for them to be there. But then just like the bits that made a shock just felt very... thrown in for me.
They were. Ultimately, this movie is nothing, jungle, plot, shock. Plot, jungle, shock. Here's the thing though. Don't underplay the shockness of this movie. And the reason being is this. Would in 2020 anyone dare do a movie, and if they did dare, be able to get it out via the distributor or on release with any semblance of animal cruelty?
Oh God, no.
Right, there's one, right? There's one thing. Who in the right mind nowadays is doing a horror movie that shows up close female masturbation that isn't classified as pornography?
Yeah.
That's not happening. You get sex in movies, you can have full frontal nudity. But that, I'm going to say it, a finger entering a vagina, which is what you see in this movie, that will be classed as pornography. Yeah. You will not be released as a horror movie. Yeah. It would be classed as porn. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A shot of a man's dick being cut off. Well, that stuff happens all the time. A lot of it is more often done nowadays in a comedic fashion. There's nothing comedic about that at all. Yeah. It's brutal. It's horrible. Someone held up against their will. Yeah.
I feel lucky because if you're going to go for an all-out ending, but have a bit more all-out ending rather than just, okay, there's a bit there.
Admittedly, after that bit, the fact that it slowed straight back down and went back to the same thing did not... That's the problem. It was up and down, this ending. It's like, oh, we're going up. Here we go. Now we're going to get frantic. Oh, no, back down. Okay, right, nothing's happening. Okay, here you go. Oh, no, back down. And that's the biggest problem with the ending. It's very drawn out, unnecessarily and so.
Quite simple. Oh, okay, we'll just float down the river. Whereas I thought, but the fact that she had a bite to eat of the cannibal stuff, I was like, will that affect her? Would they have some... But they don't really do that back then. Like the whole fake out thing of, you think you've got away from the ghost? Oh, no. It didn't really happen as much.
It just ended.
It just ended. Then she's floating away, and I'm like, well, you could have done something. The fact that she's eaten, she wasn't a very nice person. She's eating a bit of the actual meat. Is she going to have? Give him some sort of look as a walking through the jungle or something of like.
You are putting a modern spin on it.
Yeah.
I do think with the third episode in this, you need to start turning your head to what you need to expect. This was released in 1978.
So what was do you know, top of your head, what the first cannibal one? So what was the first shocking cannibal kind of film?
What do you mean by shocking?
Well, no, out of these guys, because there was a bunch of cannibal films.
I'm not sure. We'll have to compare the dates as we go through them.
Because I wonder what
sure. This is one of the earlier ones. 1978. This is definitely one of the earlier ones.
I thought it was one of the later ones, but
no, I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But
because I say, like, for the first time seeing cannibals on screen, would this be as shocking if it wasn't the first one? If that makes sense. If that makes sense. So this was like the first cannibal one. People are like, oh wow, we've not seen.
It's weird because
wild people, native portrayed in that way.
It's weird because the only other cannibal one I can think of top of my head that I know I've seen for sure is obviously Cannibal Holocaust, because I don't really consider Cannibal Apocalypse. Well, it is cannibal, but Cannibal Holocaust, and I think of the shocking moments in that, and I think, okay, that's also got penis dismemberment. But then I remember certain other things, including violent rape and. Do you know what I mean? There's other stuff in that, so that's what it is. I mean, you've got to remember, it's always a combination of things. And in cannibal movies, the overriding issue has always been, and is with this, and with the likes of Cannibal Holocaust, and I know it's Cannibal Ferox as well, or Ferox, animal cruelty. That's a major fucking issue.
It's weird because like the things you're portraying is shocking enough. Like cannibalism at any point in time is still shocking. So it's bizarre that they would need to put that extra layer in. It's just, even for like modern times, back then wasn't appreciated. I still find it bizarre that that's part of their films. Yeah. But yeah, overall, I was impressed that there was more plot. There wasn't just trash and tits like I originally thought.
So. There you go. Right, there you go. The Mountain of the Cannibal God. Not a bad film, not a great film. Has its moments. You can still see why it was considered a video nasty at the time. Check back next time for episode 4. Thank you very much for watching. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Tumblr. Go to Patreon and help us out over there. That's patreon.com/gbhbl, as well as Big Cartel, where you can find some of our merchandise. We have a podcast running on SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. And of course, if you like this video, do us a favour, hit the subscribe button and help the channel grow. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?